I guess, yeah, whoever's got questions, raise your hand and we'll start moving.
Facts, though.
Mark right here. Where's Mark?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. He's running the show, so you should be able to hear all right. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, Tomon, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well. All right. First up today is Andrew Jones. So, Andrew, unmute yourself and ask away.
Hey, Tomon, second day in, now that you guys are officially in formal fall camp, what is the general vibe around the team now that you guys have a lot more clarity on who you'll be playing, when you'll be playing them, and it's looking like a season is going to occur?
Just a lot of excitement out here, especially the first day. But ever since we got the news of when our schedule is going to be, who we playing, when we playing them, all the guys is ready to work and make it to the season.
You've got a couple of young guys in camp, Desmond Evans, Kamen Rucker. You haven't seen much of them, but I'm just kind of curious what your initial reactions after seeing them do some stuff here recently, what your thoughts are on those two guys.
I just know they both just willing to work. They ask questions all the time in meetings. They try to link up with us older guys to clarify some things. And when we out here in the field, they always the first one try to jump up in line just to get these drill work in. So I know they're ready to play. They're eager to play. They just got some few things they need to work on, but they're going to get there.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem.
Ross?
Yeah, I mean, I'll jump on that question. Could you elaborate a little bit more on what do you think Desmond Evans can bring to y'all's position in year one, and physically what he kind of looks like as an outside linebacker, defensive end?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Desmond, the big thing with him is his height and his length. I think when I see him, I think about, like, Chris Collins, what they could bring on the edge, some of that speed and that length to get to the quarterback. That's what we need. And then, but he out here, he's a smart kid, so he's soaking things up day by day, learning what to do. And I think he's going to be a big factor this year.
Thanks, Tomon.
Yana King?
Hey, Tomon, thanks for being on today. Coach Brown said yesterday that he was looking at you as being one of the defensive leaders. Tell us a little bit about you probably had the most experience on that group out of the whole defensive unit. So tell a little bit about your leadership abilities.
Oh, yeah. I'm one of those guys, a fifth-year senior, had a lot of experience here so far. I'm always one to try to do the right thing, be the first one up, 100% effort every play. I think this year I got to, step up in the role, being more of a vocal leader, being able to talk to the guys, which I've been doing out here ever since we've been practicing, ever since walkthroughs, really. But it's really my job to make sure all the younger guys get right, too. Got to bring them along so we can have depth this year.
Thank you.
No problem.
Gregory Hall, go ahead.
Tomon, who are some of the young guys that you see, I know it's early in the camp, but that you see kind of eventually filling your role as that leader down the line?
Oh, not just because he's my brother, but my brother for real. Just because he won out here, he's really vocal. He makes sure talking to everybody on the field and off the field. He try to make sure everybody doing the right thing. I'll say he one of the hardest workers behind me, and he's always been that leadership role, especially from high school, and he's brought it here. So I see it's him being a huge leader after I leave.
Good, Greg. Okay. Andrew Jones, go ahead.
Are you still muted?
Yep. Yeah, I got it.
got
I forgot I had muted myself. Your brother's an interesting topic. We talked to Coach Bateman, Coach Cross. They talk about his strength. And I know some of you guys have mentioned it before. Just how strong is your brother? And what has he done as far as weightlifting, building his strength, some kind of training that just blows you away?
He a strong dude for real. It started off when he was little, working out with my father ever since he first started playing football. He stopped before I did. So he has all that experience in the weight room, you know what I'm saying, putting 600 pounds on his back or putting over 400 pounds on the bench. He one of the strongest dudes on this team. He might be stronger than me. I don't know about that, but he might be stronger than me. I know he got it in the legs, but I don't know about everything else.
He got some pretty good experience last year, kind of moving around on that. He's a versatile player. What do you see as his primary attribute that he can bring you guys early on this year?
Just that strength in the run game. We need good, strong guys up front to help stop the run. And him being a 4-eye, he could play 2 gaps at one time by clogging up the hole. So I think that's a big thing. And then also he's good in pass rush, which is like an ability that a lot of people don't know about. They think he's just strong, he's just a run, but he's also really good at pass rush.
Cool. Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, Tomon, I think we're good. Thanks, man, for your time.
Thank y'all.
Mark, we got Ray coming up next.
Okay. It's live.
You see your window in the top left. We got the background.
All right.
Just setting yourself up.
Hey, Ray, thanks for joining us.
Oh, I'm not muted. My fault.
You don't have to do anything.
You good? You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. All right. Gregory, you're up first.
Hey, Ray, I just kind of had a question about how your body has changed from going from JUCO to Power 5 at UNC and competing against ACC teams.
Well, I had a shoulder injury my whole time out of high school, and I finally got it fixed. So really just I wasn't able to lift upper body until this off season. So it's really changed a lot. I put on some weight, but I feel good overall.
With Jason Strobridge and Aaron Crawford gone, what do you think the defensive line can bring to the table this year, and how do you and the guys need to step up to kind of make that transition without them pretty seamless?
I think we can be a different D-line. Obviously, we got different personnel, but I think we'll be really good in the run game, and I think with packages, we'll be able to rush the passer. But, I mean, it's a different group, so we'll see what happens when it comes game time.
What are some of the biggest improvements you think you've made since coming to Carolina?
Oh, just my technique, to be honest with you. I mean, before I got here, I played middle linebacker, I played outside linebacker, I played D-line, I played D-end. So just having a position to play and being able to learn the technique has been huge for me. And then also being in the weight room with Coach Hess has been huge.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, back over to Andrew Jones.
Hey, Ray, Coach Bateman, Coach Cross, and Mack have all said that the last 3 or 4 games last season, your game just completely changed. You just took off. What was it that enabled your game to take off like that? And what did you learn during those last few games as your confidence obviously must have been growing?
It was just putting everything together. You know, Coach Cross teaching me technique all year, preaching it. I have to go back in drills over and over and just keep working. And then also – that whole season I was in the weight room with Hess working. And then just as the season went along, I picked it up more and more. And then I came on as the season went.
Going back to your period where you were unable to lift weights, can you take us kind of how long was that you went between lifting weights, and how slowly did you kind of dive back into that?
So my senior year, I tore my labrum, and then my freshman year at junior college, I played all with the torn labrum. I wasn't lifting upper body. So then going into my sophomore season, I got the surgery. I took a red shirt, and then I rehabbed it. And by the time I got here, that's when I could start lifting and everything. So I wasn't doing upper body from basically halfway through my senior year all the way till the beginning of my sophomore year at junior college.
So you're looking at 2+ years, basically.
Yeah, with a torn up shoulder.
How long did it take you to kind of catch up to be able to do all the rep work that anyone who didn't suffer your injury is doing?
It was about halfway through the season, to be honest with you. I mean, I wasn't lifting upper body at all. I mean, when I came in, I was super weak, but I had natural strength. I always have, but it was just getting in the weight room, building my body up, and it just progressed over time, to be honest with you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, Ross, you go with last one here with Ray.
Great. Hey, Ray, what do you see your role as on this defensive line? Obviously, with 2 seniors gone, and people need to step up in certain ways, not only as leadership, but as a player.
Just be a role model for the young guys. You know, that's what AC and Stroh were. I mean, at practice, you would rarely see them make mistakes. They were there every day working really hard. Their technique was perfect, and I just want to be that for these younger guys to show them what to do and just kind of show them the way. And I think that really helped me last year.
And role as a player, your role in the
I would say hopefully be a great run stopper for us up front and then be able to get in some packages and rush the passer.
Are you playing nose or where are you kind of lining up, with you and Jaleel and stuff?
I'm playing nose right now.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. Ray, thanks so much for your time.
No problem.
Thanks, Ray.
Guys.
All right, we're going to sub Miles Wolfhook for Jeremiah Gemmel. So I think Gemmel is coming up next. We'll try to get Miles in again shortly.
Sorry for the change up, y'all. Wolf had to run to something. So we'll switch it up since Gemmel was a request I got. Figure we could knock that out today. No, yeah, you'll be able to hear.
You guys are doing a great job, Mark and Jeremy.
Thanks, man.
You guys can hear me or something back a little bit so you're centered up. See, you're here.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
You guys all good?
Yep. Jeremiah, thanks for joining us. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Doing well. We're going to start first with Deanna King.
Hey, Jeremiah. My quick question. What have you tried to work on in the off season on your game? We know that you and Chaz are going to make a really good dynamic duo for the Tar Heels. What have you been working on?
Well, me and Chaz have just been in the film room a lot. We've gone through the whole past season and looked at teams that we had problems with. And we're since we got the schedule yesterday, we're lining them up with teams who have similar schemes. And we're just going over everything that we had problems with the year prior, and we're just fixing them now in the film room and out here in practice.
Thank you.
All right. Greg Barnes, you're up next.
Hey, Jeremiah. You've got a unique view there in the middle of the defense. Can you kind of give us a quick early overview of what you see in front of you with the defensive line with some new faces there, and also in the back end where Matt Brown seems to be pleased with the depth back there?
I see this year a lot of the young guys are really going to come alive this year. The D-line looks really good. Vonner looks good. KJ looks really good. We got Tamari coming back. Y'all just talked to Ray. So I think we're going to have plenty of depth on the D-line better than we did last year. And also with the safeties coming back, we got Wolf coming back. We got Don. We got Cam Kelly coming back. He's fully healthy off of injury. And also with Patrice coming back at corner, we have more depth at corner. And also with Kyler being able to come back. I think just everywhere on defense we're a lot better and we have a lot more depth and take some plays off our legs when we need it.
You mentioned Wolf. Kind of what's his role been this offseason as a senior leader, communicating in such a unique time period?
Well, Wolf's always been like a really vocal leader. Even when he was down and out last year when he was hurt, he was always vocal and always talking to the guys. And he pretty much just carried that onto the field. Every time I'm out there with Wolf and we're connected on a call, I'm always hearing him talk, and he's always communicating. And that's something we were really, really needing in the boundary position, and he's glad to have him back.
Thanks, Jeremiah.
Okay. Gregory Hall.
Jeremiah, you and Chaz were first and second on the team last year in tackles, and were really the anchor in the middle of that defense. How can you guys take a step further and improve even more to stay consistent with last year?
Well, I think, last year, me and Chaz we'd be in the film room sometimes together, but other times we would swap and we wouldn't be in the film room at the same time. And this year we're going in there together and we're looking at the film together and we're seeing each other's views from the plays that we had mistakes so we could play off each other. Like yesterday we went over Pitt because Pitt's really good throwing the football, and we just went over how they got us on this play and how we can correct it and how we can go on the film, go to practice today, because what our defense is doing or our offense is doing is a lot what we saw from Pitt. And when me or Chaz were looking at Pitt, we're like, we're going to get the same exact play from the offense. Let's correct this and not have this other mistake again.
You mentioned when you were going over film, comparing the teams on this schedule to some schemes that you had issues with last year. What were some of those issues and how are you trying to fix them?
It was just really, it was some bunch sets and just passing it. We really didn't have any problem in the run game, me, Chaz, or the D-line, or even the safeties in the fit. We just went back and looked back at all the under crossing routes, the short little X under routes that beat us. They'll throw it for 2 yards, but they'll run for 20 yards. And that's what we're trying to look at. Just make sure we're on top of the short and skinny routes so we don't get hit for explosive play.
And then how deep do you guys think you can be at linebacker this year?
Sorry, say it one more time.
How deep do you think you can be at linebacker this year?
Oh, man. We have some really smart guys in the room. Kadri's taken many steps up, but really Eugene from this year to now has really, really improved. And since we've seen that Kadri he's been getting better and better each year, and Eugene's took so many steps up, where the coaches are really confident that we could send Eugene and Kadri out there any play to take plays off of me and Chaz. And even the freshmen coming in with Cedric Gray and Ethan West, those guys are really, really, really high character guys, and they're always in the film room, always trying to get better, always trying to meet with us. And so I think we'll be able to go 3 deep if we really wanted to this year.
Thank you.
Cool. Andrew Jones.
Hey, Jeremiah, staying on that, more specifically about Kadri and Eugene, what are a couple of things that have clearly gotten better in their game from maybe this time a year ago to where they are now, so they can step in and help keep you and Chaz a little fresher?
Well, they're both – first off, they're both really, really athletic. That was never the problem. They could both run. They could both take 3 down the middle of the field if they wanted to. But for me, it was them understanding the calls and seeing, like, what does Coach Bateman want down in 3rd down? What does Coach Bateman want in 2nd down? What does he want in 1st? And I think that's where they took the step of understanding Bateman's defense instead of just going out there and playing a call. They're understanding why Bateman's calling the call instead of just going out there and playing a call. So I think they're starting to understand the defense a lot more. So that's really good.
And your vantage point of Chaz, we talked to Coach Bateman a couple months ago, and he said that one of his primary emphasis for Chaz was working on angles, improving his angles over the offseason. How have you – short but unlimited time, obviously, but how have you seen Chaz improve in that area?
Oh, his angles are great. The only time that Chaz takes a bad angle is when he overruns a guy because he's so fast. It's really like his speed is hurting him at that point because he's overrunning. That's really it. It was just the only time I've really seen Chaz get cut back on is really on – you would think it would be a faster player, but it was the slower players like a QB running to the sideline and cutting back because he couldn't beat Chaz to the sideline. And that's it. He didn't have any problems with any skill guys being inside out. It was always the guys that were a little bit slower that he would overestimate and think that they would beat him to the sidelines. But that's about it. All his other angles have been really good.
Is that just an experience thing? Just more and more he plays, he just kind of figures all that out?
Yeah, I mean, after 1 year of playing ball and me and him going to look back on it, we look back at it now and, like, laugh because he's like, dang, like I could have easily been inside out on him and made the tackle right here. So, I mean, it's good for us to go back and look at the thing so we can learn from it.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll finish up with Ross Martin.
Hey, Jeremiah, with more defensive backs being able to play, more depth there, how do you foresee Bateman getting more creative with the defense? Maybe running, 6 defensive backs in the system.
I think Bateman could be able to heat up the blitzes a lot more if we're fresher on defense because, I mean, when you get to tend to get tired out there at DB, it gets harder and harder to run downfield with receivers like Diami or Daz, whoever's running. So if we get fresh legs out there, Bateman won't be afraid to call a blitz and bring the heat. So with having more depth, I think Bateman will be able to open up his playbook way more than he'd like to than last year because we got fresh legs on the field.
Have you all been doing that already, or at what point are you in installing those kind of unique or different types of defensive plays?
Yeah, we're pretty far along with it. Like tomorrow, we're going to start putting in our exotics. Yesterday and today was kind of our base defense, but tomorrow we're going to start throwing in our exotic blitzes.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
No problem.
Jeremiah, thanks so much for joining us today.
Oh, no problem. Y'all have a good day.
Hang tight for a minute, guys. I think Sam was still finishing up throwing, so we'll get him in a minute. All right, it appears Sam's walking over now. And once we get done with Sam, I think Jeremy's got a couple other items to share with you guys. So make sure you hang out for a second after we're done with Sam.
We got Sam coming up.
Oh, it's good.
Hey,
How
Sam.
y'all doing? How's it going?
Good, good. How are you?
Good.
All right, who's going to lead us off? I guess Ross, you're in first.
Hey, what's up, Sam? Just wondering ways that you were trying to get better this year. Obviously, you had a big year last year, but things you can look back and the room for improvement you have watching film or looking back at what you did last year.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways I'm trying to get better. I could talk all day of ways I'm trying to get better this year, but the main thing is just being consistent. I missed a couple throws last year. I made some mental mistakes, so just trying to be consistent. When I'm making the right decision and I'm making the right throws, and I think I'm a really good player. So I'm just trying to be that player every single play. So that's really been the main thing, is just trying to be perfect every single time I come out here, and just trying to push my teammates to be perfect. That's the only way we're going to get better.
Great, thank you.
Okay, over to Andrew Jones.
Hey, Sam, kind of a simple question, but maybe not. What is your definition of perfect when you're going through practice this time of year?
Perfect is all the way around, all 11 guys on the field, not having any mental mistakes, and then executing the play. If everyone does their job, everyone knows what they're doing, and the play is executed, and that's a perfect play to me. So really just no mental mistakes and then perfect execution.
Mac told us yesterday that he had preached to you guys about, in practice, the ball should never hit the field. He used Colt McCoy as an example, that he had some practices, the ball never hit the field. 2 days in, has the ball hit the field? Have you met that standard?
Yeah, we chart everything, and I think like back this time last year in practice, I was like maybe 50-something% in practice. I think yesterday we were like 87%. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what we were. So, I feel really good. We are where we are with our receivers right now. I know we're still a couple incompletes, but we also have a really good defense we're going against. But I think the main thing with our receivers is they're competing with the DBs. Our DBs have gotten a lot better, especially in the offseason. There's some new guys stepping in, so it's been fun to watch those guys compete with the DBs, and our receivers are going to be better than they were last year, which is kind of scary. So looking forward to it.
And to piggyback on that, your own personal standard, this time a year ago, you've been through spring practice, but you were just battling, trying to win the job. How is your vision of what you want to accomplish in camp different now than it was a year ago? And how much higher is your personal standard?
Yeah, last year I think at this time, I didn't really know what to expect. I was still competing for the job. I didn't know if I was going to be starting quarterback or not. I think that just having that year under my belt and knowing that I'm the starting quarterback just gives me the opportunity to bring the other guys along. Last year I was kind of focused more on myself and making sure I was doing the right things myself. But now it gives me the opportunity to lead these other guys and make sure everyone's on the right page and try to push everyone every single day.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Okay, over to Casey Hentz.
Hi, Sam. I guess just kind of piggybacking off of that, not to say that you didn't have any, high expectations last year, but do you feel maybe a little pressure coming into this season at all, or does that kind of energize you?
Yeah, I like to say we don't read or see any of the expectations, but, we're human. We see the expectations we have, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Everyone seems to be talking about it on social media and stuff like that. But the main thing I try to tell our guys is that just because it's supposed to happen and people think it's going to happen doesn't mean it's going to happen. We still have to go out there and do it. So we're just trying to take it day by day, control what we can control, and just try to execute as good as we can, and those things will happen for us.
All right, over to Gregory Hall.
Sam, with figuring out who you're playing and when you're playing them so late into the offseason, how does that affect your preparation as a quarterback?
Yeah, it was killing me not knowing who we were going to play first. I'm trying to watch film right now on who we're playing first. So it was killing me those couple of days when they released who we were going to play, but we didn't know when we were going to play them. So I'm definitely excited to know who we're going to play. All our thoughts right now are on Syracuse, our opening game. So it's definitely been fun to start looking at those guys and trying to get a game plan set up for them.
And then when you guys are running against the defense, who are some of the main problems that give you headaches when you're trying to have perfect execution?
I think someone that's going to have a really good year is Trey Morrison. I think he's moved back inside to nickel where he played his freshman year. He's done a really, really good job. Just seeing the way he's a really, really smart player. He's probably one of the best defense players I've ever seen. So I would say Trey Morrison has really impressed me since he moved back inside from playing corner last year.
Thank you.
Okay, Sam, I think that's all for today. Thanks a lot for spending a few minutes with us. Actually, hold on, Ross. Ross got one last one to go.
Sorry, I didn't want to let you off that easy. This is actually for one of our podcast hosts, doing something called the backstory. Going back to when you won the job as a true freshman, what was your mindset during that competition? How do you think the staff handled that competition and eventually naming you as starter? And what made you, as a freshman, able to earn the job? Sorry, that's a lot at once, but kind of go into that.
Yeah, you're good. As far as the staff goes, I think they did a good job. They didn't really say a whole lot. They gave everybody equal reps and everyone the same opportunities and just kind of let it play out for itself. The main thing for me coming into the competition was I wasn't going to try to worry about the other guys. I was going to focus on myself and try to become the best player I could become. I think when you start trying to compare yourself to other players, you kind of limit yourself on who you can be and how good you can be as a player. So I was really just trying to become the best player I could be. At the end of the day, if I'm at my best and that's not good enough, then it's not good enough. So that's really what I was focused on, and I think that's what really allowed me to separate from the other guys.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, Mark.
Okay. Yep. All right. Sam, thanks, man.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Ross just had to sneak in there.
Oh yeah, he's our closer.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't really for me. It was doing a favor for someone.
Ross just making up questions at the end. He didn't even know who he's talking to.
You got a Heisman candidate. You want to get a little more than 5 minutes, right?
Hey, Sam's still chilling here. You guys want to talk about what's for dinner or whatever? Chicken. He said chicken, if y'all were wondering. Hey, would you